Good morning. May peace be upon you. Today's lesson is motivation. Motivation in learning, motivation in teaching. What motivates a student to learn? What motivates a teacher to teach? Motivation in fact means to move, from the Latin word from which it has originated. And that exactly it is. When there is motivation, one tends to move to achieve something, isn't it? The process that initiates and maintains behavior with an urge to achieve towards. That is the definition of motivation. Simply speaking, motivation results in learners showing energized, sustained behavior of learning. So if someone is motivated, then he is going to show a behavior which is going to be sustained over the time. It would be energized towards an outcome. There is a model which explains how the process of motivation works. You see, a person has an unfulfilled needs, wants, desires. Now, these unfulfilled needs, wants, and desire, that produces tension in the human body and mind. This tension is the source of the drive which results in the desired behavior to fulfill the needs, wants, and desires and the goals. Obviously, when fulfillment of needs and goals is there, then there is decreased tension, decreased drive, and the motivation tends to become less. This process is very important when there is an external motivation, which we are going to discuss later on. But the thing is not simple, you see. Somebody may have fulfilled needs, wants, and desire that is producing tension into him. There is a drive and it results in behavior. But what behavior will become, to what extent this drive will manifest into behavior, this is going to depend upon the personality of the person, his perception, his beliefs, his values, his attitudes, his way of learning, and so many things. If we want to classify motivation, there are many ways by which one can classify motivations. One way is, it could be instinctive, it could be acquired. Instinctive motivation is something which is present in the instinct of a human person, which I am going to explain by means of example. Acquired motivation could be because it could be intrinsic motivation or extrinsic motivation, because acquired motivation is produced when the motives are intrinsic within a human person, within a human mind, and extrinsic motivation because the motivators or the motivating forces are outside the person itself. Give you an example of instinctive motivation: hunger, thirst. Whenever you are going to feel hungry, there will be a desire to eat. Whenever one feels thirsty, there is a feel to desire. There is a desire to drink. Avoidance of pain. Whenever there is a pain, a person would like to avoid the pain. That is an instinct. That is an instinct desire. That is an instinctive need. Pursuance of pleasure and happiness. Everyone wants to be happy. That is the need, that is the desire, and that acts as a motive. That is an instinctive motive that results in a behavior which is sustained and energized to keep hunger under control, thirst under control, to avoid pain, and to pursue pleasure and happiness. Intrinsic motivation, effort, ability, mastery, proficiency, enjoyment, passion, curiosity, fun, self-expression, these all are the intrinsic motivating forces. Because all of these, they generate into the mind of the human person. How much effort he wants to put, what is his belief and values on that, what he thinks of his ability, does he want mastery in something or not, his proficiency, what he thinks it is, how much he wants to enjoy and what he classifies enjoyment into, so on and so forth. In contrast to this, promotions, pay raise, bonuses, benefits, prizes, perks, etc., they are intrinsic motivation drives, or these are the factors which result in intrinsic motivation. Why we are talking about motivation, and then we are going to talk about perspectives on motivation which are going to explain motivation further, why we are spending this time on the theoretical framework of motivation. Because this theoretical background results in behaviors and processes, behaviors which favor motivation and the processes involved in that. And when these are studied, these results in again the formation of new explanations, new theories, so they're interrelated with each other. And this is how we learn more. And as we learn more, we practice more. And as we practice more, we tend to increase motivation in our students to learn more and in other areas of life. There are perspectives of motivation which we are going to discuss, which explain motivation, which may be intrinsic, which may be instinctive, which may be acquired, and if acquired, intrinsic or extrinsic. They can all be explained on the basis of perspectives of motivation. One is behavioral, then is humanistic, then is cognitive, and then is social. If you see this picture, this is expressing a concept. Somehow or the other, all these perspectives, they're interconnected with each other, if you think of it, and one affects the other. But coming back, in the previous clips, we have talked about educational theories, education orientation and paradigms, which explains how a student learns, which predicts their behavior. Okay, if they learn in this way or teacher teaches in this way, they are bound to learn. Now, if the students are taught in a way that makes them learn, then obviously that is the drive which builds in their mind, which makes them learn. So that produces motivation in the brain. The educational orientations, paradigms, and theories, they broadly fall into 5 groups, if you remember, or 5 titles: behaviorism, cognitivism, constructivism, social learning theories, and humanistic learning theories. The behavioral perspective of motivation comes from behaviorism, or it leads to behavioral perspective of motivation. Cognitivism, constructivism, they lead to cognitive perspective. You see, cognition is something in the brain. Constructivism is thought as an offshoot of cognitivism, because in cognitivism, the information is given to the student according to how a mind organizes the information in the mind, how the memory system works. Whereas in constructivism, person has his own knowledge with his experience. He puts a new information itself and constructs his own knowledge. So both are talking about brain, about cognition. That is why from these comes the cognitive perspective of motivation. From social perspective, and from humanistic educational paradigms, humanistic perspective. If you see this diagram, you thinking that the behavior this person is showing is running. And this running behavior should be because he is seeing a carrot in front of himself and somebody is trying to beat him from behind. Emphasizes external reward and punishment as the key factor in motivation. Behavioral perspective says that external reward and punishment are key factors in motivation. So therefore, punishment, pay reduction, no bonuses, decreased benefit, denied price, decreased perk. If somebody knows, if somebody is not going to show this behavior, there is going to be these things, he is bound to show that behavior. And he is bound to show the same behavior if he's told there are promotions linked with it, pay rise linked with it, bonuses, benefit, priced and perks. This is behavioral perspective. Now this is external motivation, isn't it? If you remember the model, as I told you previously, tension, there are unfulfilled needs, which produces drive in the behavior, and when that thing is met, then the drives become less and motivation becomes less. So therefore, if the motivating factors are only these, a person gets these things, then he is going to show less behavior or his motivation will decrease. Isn't it? So therefore, intrinsic motivation is obviously better than extrinsic motivation because it is more sustained and it is not dependent upon these things to that an extent as extrinsic motivation. There are certain needs I was talking about. A person wants his physical and psychological environment should be safe, should be sound, should be healthy. And to achieve that thing, one is going to show a behavior. One wants feeling of being loved and owned by others. So in order to get that feeling, one is going to show behaviors which can result in fulfillment of this need. One wants to feel good about oneself and being liked by others. So therefore, to fulfill this need, one is going to show the behavior so that this is meant. And then everyone wants to express his full potential, to realize his full potential, which if you are a teacher, you want to realize your full potential as a teacher, and if he is a learner, he wants to realize his full potential of a learner. This forms the basis of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It says this thing, that there is a hierarchy of needs. The lowest is physiological, then need of safety, need of love and belonging, need of esteem, and need of self-actualization. And when tends to be motivated, when tends to show energized, sustained behavior, which is a behavior shown by motivation, when a person tends to fulfill these needs. this we are talking about is the humanistic perspective. We show energized, sustained behavior directed towards meeting our needs. Many of these are external needs, isn't it? This is external need. External motivators. Internal need. Internal motivators. Internal need. Internal motivators. Internal need. Internal motivators. Now you know this thing. Just remember that classification. Every perspective will fall into subgroup of that hierarchy of classification. Cognitive perspective is internal motivation, internal acquired motivation, maybe having some instinctive element also. Because it is the thoughts which guide sustained, energized behavior towards the goal. The thoughts in the mind, the beliefs in the mind, the values in the mind, they translate into a behavior which is visible. For example, I can teach and learn. I can put in effort. I will set the goal, plan and monitor my learning and teaching. My ability and IQ can increase. I concentrate on learning and not performance. Self-efficacy, attribution, self-determination, mindset, mastery orientation, all these concepts have originated from the cognitive perspective of motivation, or one can say they all fall in the cognitive perspective of motivation. The strategies to enhance internal motivation, that's if we want our students to learn, then there are many strategies which can be based on the basis of cognitive perspective motivation, like give choices to the students. If choices are given to the students, they tend to learn more of what they want to learn. Provide opportunity to be responsibly control their learning. Develop them into self-directed learners, and they are going to learn much more if an opportunity is provided to them that they are responsible to control their learning. Whatever educational challenge you give them, if the educational challenges matches the skill of the students whom you are teaching, then they are going to experience an optimal situation and there is going to be flow of time. This is a situation which you might have experienced many times, where doing some work and at the end you say, I don't know where time has passed. Because that educational challenge and your skill, they were optimally matching each other. Interest. Obviously, interest motivates. Intrinsic interest, which is in a student, that cannot change more or less. But a teacher is responsible for creating situational interest. Whatever video I am showing you today, there is an interest in you to see it. That's why that video is on. That is your intrinsic interest. Now, as a good teacher, it's my duty to produce a situational interest so that you may learn more. And that situational interest I am producing. The way I am talking, the way I am presenting, the way I have made the slides, the way I am organizing my thoughts, and so on and so forth. Whenever an educational challenge is given, then the students, they are oriented into three spheres or three realms: mastery, performance, and helpless. Those students who are in this realm or this orientation to a task, they focus on learning strategies and the process of achievement rather than outcome. Performance, it focuses on the outcome, focuses on winning, and there are many students who are stuck or frozen in the realm of helplessness. They feel trapped by the difficulties and attributes the difficulty to lack of ability. It is our duty as a teachers to identify these two set of students and move them into where they are concentrating on focusing on learning strategies, focusing on the process of learning and not merely on the outcome. A beautiful way of doing is attributional retraining, which I am going to discuss in future in a video lesson. To summarize, give student choice, generate situational interest, match their ability and skill with skill required to perform a task, encourage students to set short-term goals, teach students to approach tasks with a plan, show students that they can be successful. All these principles, all these strategies, they have come from cognitive perspective of motivation. Social perspective says the need for affiliation and relatedness involves establishing and maintaining close, healthy relations. It looks like the social perspective and the need of safety and these needs, they match each other with Maslow's upper hierarchy, not the topmost. Therefore, if there is a positive relationship among the teachers and students, that increases the motivation of students to learn. So if we are thinking from a student's perspective, a teacher motivates students to learn, or an organization where a students enroll, that motivates the teachers to learn if the communication is good and the student thinks they talk to me, they pay attention to me, they listen to me what I say. They perceive the environment is honest and fair, they keep their promises, they trust me, they tell me truth. The organization is empathetic, the teacher is empathetic, they are concerned. They ask us what is wrong, ask when we or I need help. And the behavior of the teacher or the organizations of a role model, they make class interesting by increasing the situational interest, by teaching in a special way. I hope this lesson helps you to understand the theoretical framework of motivation and how to apply that theory into practice. Have a good day, continue smiling, remain blessed. See you in the next lesson.